As this law is passed, it's not yet reality. It still has to be approved by something called the Constitutional Council. Talk us through this step.
Well, actually, yes, exactly. It's been passed in both chambers, but now it's in the hands of the very powerful judges of the Constitutional Council. And it's actually President Emmanuel Macron himself who referred it to the council. The idea is to check whether some of the tougher measures are constitutional or not. And what's interesting is that this law is much tougher than what the government and Emmanuel Macron wanted. They had to go through a compromise, a special committee with right-wing MPs, and it's the right-wing MPs who imposed, if you will, a lot of these tougher measures. What are these measures? Migration quotas, making it harder for immigrants' children to actually become French citizens, and also delaying migrants' access to welfare benefits, and that's proving very controversial. The government and the entourage of the president keeps repeating and told us this is not 100% what we wanted. We had to make compromises with the right, and maybe even the government is hoping that the Constitutional Council will deem some of the measures unconstitutional. That's a very high possibility, and that's kind of what we've been sensing from the interviews, notably from Prime Minister Elisabeth Borne. Now, you've got some local authorities in France saying, no way, we won't apply some of the measures. NGOs also calling on the Constitutional Council to deem some measures unlawful, and NGOs and various people saying we are staging demonstrations and we will continue. And then you've got also universities saying that it's completely unfair to ask foreign students to have a refundable deposit before they arrive. And then you've got Elisabeth Borne saying this deposit could be 10 or 20 euros. You've got the French president yesterday saying, this is not a measure I believe is right. I hope it doesn't pass. That's what President Emmanuel Macron said last night in an interview, where he also defended this immigration law. Take a listen.
On doit se battre contre les flux.
We need to fight against this influx. So clandestine arrivals of people who arrive on our territory illegally, who, because we're not efficient enough, because our procedures are too slow, too complicated, we just aren't able to put together a file fast enough to send them back. That's the first objective. The second is to better integrate people through language learning and work, which this text also allows.
President Macron really on the defensive in that interview last night.
Indeed, and President Emmanuel Macron also saying that he believes that benefits, high benefits, do attract foreigners, and that's kind of a controversial point here in France, and that's why he wants to reduce benefits for those who are not working in the country. He believes it's the best way to deal with the situation, and it will actually help foreigners working, prevent stigma, and he believes that there is one measure that will help undocumented foreign workers, and that is that they can now ask for citizenship without going through their bosses, because you got these very cruel situations where you had bosses happy to have undocumented workers, and we know there are many working in restaurants, working in construction, and the new law will prevent that. It will prevent foreigners from having to go through their bosses to apply for French citizenship. French far right here saying, we've won. Our ideas have won. National preference is on the table. We are the big winners. The French government and Emmanuel Macron saying, don't listen to the French far right. They're just trying to instrumentalize the situation, capitalize on the moment. And one last piece of information, a figure, and that's also explaining why Emmanuel Macron's pushing for this immigration law, has been pushing. 70% of the French people back this new bill, including 87% of Macron's supporters. This is according to a recent poll for BFM TV.
Okay, Clovis, thank you for that. France 24's Clovis Casali. Thanks to him. Thanks